Second is the research methods of psychology. It's what methods people use to research on like topics. So the basic method in science which they use is they observe the things, they create hypothesis for it. So it's observation, then hypothesis, and they produce a theory that has been approved by different people, and then it becomes a law.
So
it's basically the science method. We're gonna study what psychology says, what method psychology follows. I just wanted to give you a just basic thing.
So psychology is a scientific method?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, what do you understand by empiricism?
I read the definition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of like a deeper meaning of it or applied meaning of it.
Mm-hmm. The best thing to understand these definitions or things in psychology is to find an example for it.
Okay.
So once you're able to find an example, that means your concepts are clear.
Yeah.
So if we talk about empiricism, so you read the definition. So what do you get from the definition?
So basically you can learn anything by observing.
Yeah. For example?
So if you are trying to understand
so if you see somebody doing something, you observe him or her, and you can learn that thing. That's only what it says. Empiricism is you can learn things by your observation.
Gotcha.
So it says that whatever we observe, it becomes a part of our memory. And when it becomes a part of our memory, it becomes like a part of our skills. And if I observe somebody, like when we are children, our teachers, like they write on board and they teach us how to make an alphabet. So by observing that, we can make an alphabet. Or right now, even if you see somebody doing step-by-step things, you might not be able to remember. If there are a lot more steps, you might not be able to remember all those steps at first. But still, you can get the idea about how to do that thing by observing somebody else doing that thing.
Okay.
That's what empiricism is.
Sounds good.
And scientific method is a method that is being used in the science, which says that you have which has a relationship between ideas and evidence. So it says that you collect the data, you collect your ideas, and then you produce your evidence for that.
Mm-hmm.
So if your evidence are good enough to prove your point, then that becomes a theory, that's a law.
Okay.
And if not, then that's nothing.
Gotcha.
What is theory?
Theory is something it's a conclusion you come to based on tests, but it's not 100% true. It's just the best answer the best solution that you can get from.
And it can be right, it can be valid and not valid. So you get theory is whatever data you are getting in a point, in a sense that it can be correct in some sense and it cannot be correct. What's hypothesis?
So it's falsifiable prediction made by a theory. So if you believe something, you predict if it can or can't happen, and that's what the hypothesis is.
Yeah.
And then you test it with scientific method.
Yeah. So the deduction you draw from, or the result that you draw from your theory is hypothesis, whether it can be right or wrong.
Okay.
Alright. So in scientific method, you collect the data. And how you collect the data, you must have observed something. Alright. So it says, in psychology we say that there is an art of looking on things. What that art is, we look on the things every day, and they don't for us they are not different, but for the people who invent them or like produce a new thing from them, that's they look at them differently. Right? For example, if we take the example of Newton, apple like fall from the trees every day, and we see it even how he was able to bring that law or bring that like theory that he
established it.
Yeah. So it's not that he has different eyes or we have different eyes or we have different sense and he's more intelligent than us. We all are same human beings, but his art of looking at the things was different. So it's our perspective, it's our view upon how we look at the things. Sometimes we go through the chapter, like things. It can be a chapter, or it can be anything. Sometimes in our room we cannot find the thing, but other person can find it. So it's out of looking at the things, how you look and how you like understand, perceive those things.
Gotcha.
Can you make an example of it?
So, like if there's a car accident, one person may say it was the first person's fault, they ran the red light, they should be the one at fault. And then the second person, maybe they saw it from a slightly different angle, and they could have a completely different opinion that it was the other person and that they didn't do anything wrong. So I guess that could be one example.
Okay. Yep. And in your book we have some examples like this horse, like the person who was taking the videos, he like everybody see it, but nobody like see it more, you can say specifically, that he said that all four legs are like off the ground when the horse runs or something. So when he jumped, all four legs are off the ground, and that is what he proved. And the thing you were saying is just that every person sees with a different angle, and that's correct. I can see things with a different angle. I can see a different thing in it, but you can see a different thing in different things. So it's like how everybody in this world sees with different angles.
Okay.
And that's what we can conclude. And like if we collect a data can be collected if different people can collect data, and all their data will be like they must have a different thing in it. They cannot have every time the similar data until and unless they are being taught by the same person. Okay, so that was about how you collect the data.
Gotcha.
What you understand by observation is like how we view the things.
How we view it, what we view in it. I don't know much more.
Okay, so it says about measurements, like if we take measurements, every single person will have a kind of different readings. It's sometimes because of the percentage error, but sometimes because they are viewing the things differently. And because we have different minds, I mean, it's not just different minds, it's like we have different psychology and we see things differently. That's why we define and detect things differently. Right? You can see sometimes, like for example in that pen I can see colors, but you was able to see that here. So I was able to, yeah, it's a pen. So I'm able to see the shape and you can see the colors. That's how we are viewing this thing differently. So what appeals to me most is the color, shape, and what appeals to you most is the color. And we are like viewing and taking a measurement of this thing, or you can say specifying or defining this pen in a different way.
Okay.
Do you have any question on that?
No, it seems pretty clear.
Okay. So what do you understand by validity?
Validity. So validity is how correct it is or how true.
Validity is like to what extent it proves the point.
Okay.
Right. So whatever point or data you have produces, to what extent it measures or measures your point or proves your point correctly.
Okay.
What's reliability?
Kind of the quality of the data.
Yeah. That is it reliable or not? Is it something that are all the laws and stuff, or like whatever data we have produced is going according to them or not? Like it is that single point is proving all our points or not? So if it's proving all those points and it's valid and it's reliable because it's give everything this every time the same explanation.
Okay.
All right. And power.
So like same. Same measurement each time.
With reliability. Yeah, so reliability will give the same explanation every time if it's reliable.
Alright.
So power is how powerful that statement is, like how much it is effective on the things.
Okay.
Right. So in science we always have exceptions, but the data which has less exceptions is powerful. Does that make sense?
I think so. I'm just also reading that definition. So the ability of a measure. So is it like the quality of your measurement tools?
Tools are your explanation.
The ability of a measure to detect when concrete conditions specified in operation